Well, great week at the TOC. Obviously, you want to win, but feels you have to feel good to make a TV show, and especially top five in that field.
Yeah, that was an amazing field. They're all champions, so beating that field, all except for three, was pretty amazing. It gives me a lot of confidence going into the next few weeks, so I'm pretty excited about it.
Really, it's been a solid year for the most part. How would you grade yourself so far?
I would say it's amazing for me. I don't do this full time. I'm trying to do it this year full time, but this year's been great. I've made 3 match plays. 2 of them were the TOC. 2 of them are majors. 1 TOC, 1 U.S. Open. 1 was a classic event, and it's been a great year for me.
You have the doubles title with Sean Rash, but you still feel like you're learning things out here every time you come out.
Yeah, absolutely. You learn every time you bowl. So, just being able to learn from every experience. Making my first TV show on my own. Was quite a confidence booster for me. So it's got a monkey off my back, so to speak.
Especially had to be cool. Your whole family there to watch. I mean, it's a pretty special day.
Absolutely. Yeah, it puts a little more pressure on me too. But they're there to support me, and I know that. So I thank my wife for taking care of everything at home, and my son and my father for coming, and my mother and father-in-law. It was amazing. Having them there. They couldn't wait to get there. So I couldn't wait for them to get there.
Well, now you're back to work again, right? Another tournament here in Kokomo. Dual pattern. You feel like that plays to your strengths, being a little bit more versatile?
I'm not a big fan of dual patterns, but I'll deal with it. So we'll see how it goes. But we're going to end up in the same spot, I believe. So on both patterns.
Now, are you planning to finish out the season, bowling every stop until the end of the year?
Yeah, I'm gonna bowl it all. We got 4 or 5 more events. If you count the World Series as one, and then we're gonna end around May in doubles, and then the PBA League in September. So I'll be around for all of it.
Well, it's been great to watch you. I know I've known you for a long time, and it's always cool to see you back on TV. Hope we see you soon again.
Yeah, me too. Thanks
all right,
a lot.
Best of luck this week. Kyle, another great week, TOC. I know you're disappointed probably to an extent because you always want to win when you get on television. But describe your week. I know you had an up and down 10th frame. You had a chance to lock Jason up. Came up short, but still a solid week at the TOC.
Yeah, I mean, I threw a double to make match play, so that was a big parlay from that, getting to make it all the way to the show. The 10 pin was pretty good. I missed a little left, but I carried the Brooklyn, so at the end of the day, I shouldn't have been able to throw the second one. So, 6th place was great. I did feel like if I could have won that match, I could have won the tournament just because of my look on the fresh. But, that's just something I'll never get to witness and, wait till next year for that tournament. But, it's another good confidence boost, 2 major shows this year. And moving forward here to Kokomo, bowled last year. I believe I made the cut, but nothing too crazy. So looking forward to a good event.
You go from town to town and you seem to be one of the crowd favorites. How does that, obviously that's a sign of your personality and your persona and how you can handle yourself. How cool is that to know that when you go to a bowling center, all these kids and all these people are here to watch you perform?
It's pretty cool to think about because I watched my dad do it, and that's kind of what I wanted to be when I grew up. So, I guess if I stop and think about it a little bit, I realize I'm kind of doing that. But, it's also just very humbling. They look up to me as a bowler. They want to be a professional bowler like me or like some of the others out here. And, I was in their shoes, so it's pretty cool to be able to give back to them. And, my dad always said, entertain and then bowl well. And, trying to mix that in there together, put them both in the top priorities. I'm blessed to do what I love for a living, and that's bowl. So I guess I could still be making Frosties at Wendy's. So, I mean, it's very humbling. It tells me people are watching bowling on TV and stuff. I get recognized a lot outside of the bowling alley. And just really happy to do what I love and glad that people are enjoying it.
Well, best of luck. We enjoy watching you. Good luck this week.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Kyle. All right, Andrew, solid week last week at the TOC. Obviously, you didn't come away with what you wanted to, and that's a win, but can you take some momentum from that and carry that on into this week here at
Oh,
Kokomo?
absolutely. I mean, making any TV show is a confidence boost. Making the TOC TV show, even though it was a 17-person step ladder, it was a huge confidence boost. I did come away with a win on television. For the amount of nerves I had, it felt like it was my first TV show again. I thought I did really well. Sometimes you just can't control the outcome. I bowled not great, but I also didn't bowl bad. So it's just one of those things where you live and you learn. I'm going to take what I learned and take it into this week One of the patterns this week should play fairly similar to last week, so we'll have a comfortability level there, and then we'll just see what we can do with it.
What does the challenge of the dual pattern bring to you as a player? Do you embrace it? How difficult is it, and how are you going to attack it?
Yeah, I mean, with it being one pattern a block for the first two blocks and then dual pattern, it's a little different. If it was dual pattern the whole time, I would probably favor in practice the harder of the two patterns. But you really have to score on both. And then when you get to the dual pattern, it's really about controlling your angles and getting them as close to each other as possible, where you don't really want to play one lane 25-5 and the other 12-8. That's going to be really hard to repeat at a high level. So getting the angles somewhat similar, regardless of the length of pattern, is important to having success in dual patterns.
What's going to be your game plan as far as maybe ball of choice? How are you going to play the lanes, inside, outside?
Yeah, so there's going to be a lot of urethane. I mean, I think we should all know that 37-foot pattern and a 41-foot pattern with not a lot of oil, it's going to be a lot of urethane. So straighter angles, first couple games for sure. I'll be using a ton of surface to combat some of that urethane. I haven't had a whole lot of success with urethane this year, so I'm going to probably stick with some of my stronger symmetrical balls, and then we'll go from there. But it's just going to be important to get off to a good start, and there's going to be some bad pairs in here. When we bowl here in the past, it's a difficult center to go across. There's 20 lanes of one build, and then they added 12. So when you get past lanes 20, most of the professionals know that you're bowling in pretty much a different building. So you got to practice on both sides, get a game plan for both, and then go from there.
Well, great week last week at the TOC. Obviously, you're wanting to win, but
Yeah.
you got yourself 2 or 3 matches there, and you feel like that gives you a little bit of momentum and maybe trying to build back to some previous experience you had here on tour?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, typically a tournament, you finish in 11th, you're packing up and you're headed to whatever the next stop is. So just to be able to have the ability to be able to go on TV, win a couple of matches, kind of improve in the standings. And plus, obviously those are experiences that you can't really replicate anywhere else, and it's something that you can build on, and hopefully we can keep that momentum going into this week.
How, I guess, do you attack to, this weekend being a little dual pattern, how do you attack it, and any strategies or game plans you have in play for today?
Honestly, I think it's similar to last week. Obviously, it's a very different format and all, whatever it may be, but patience is going to be a big thing, to where you're never really going to know a scoring pace, because obviously some people may bowl well on one, some people may bowl well on the other. So it's one of those patience things, just kind of keep your head in it. It's a somewhat of a longer format, and like I said, you got short pattern, you got a medium-ish pattern, and then you got dual. So a lot of things can happen, so you're never really out of it in something like this. So